You know, we spend our entire lives climbing a ladder, chasing success. But what happens when you finally get to the top? For a lot of people, it just ends. They call it retirement. Today, we're going to talk about a totally different way of thinking, one that flips that ending into a powerful new beginning. It's all about realignment.
So let me ask you this, and really think about it for a second. That chair, it's not just wood and leather, is it? No way. It's your office, your title, the entire identity you've spent decades building. It's the ultimate symbol of your success. But here's the real question. Is it a throne that you command, or has it actually become a gilded cage?
And right there, that leads us straight into what you could call a crisis of success. It's a strange paradox, isn't it? I mean, you did it. You achieved everything you set out to do, maybe even built an empire. And yet, you can start to feel completely trapped. The very success that once defined you now feels like it's confining you. This really puts a sharp point on it. Ask yourself this. Have you been spending your life counting currency notes, or have you learned to count your breaths? The first one, well, that's the tangible stuff, right? The profits, the growth, the status. But the second one? That's about being present, finding inner peace, a kind of fulfillment you'll never find on a balance sheet. The real crisis isn't your business failing. It's when the chase for the first one completely drowns out the second.
Okay, so if that's the crisis, what's the way out of the cage? Well, the first clue comes from a really powerful metaphor, the story of the eagle. And it teaches us something profound about the difficult but absolutely necessary price you have to pay for a new life. So the eagle gets to a point where it faces this incredibly stark choice. Its beak gets dull, its feathers get heavy, and it literally can't fly anymore. So what does it do? It can just cling to what's familiar, accept that its flying days are over, or it can go through something incredibly painful to be able to soar again. And this, right here, is the heart of it. Renewal isn't some gentle, easy transition. It is a conscious choice to go through pain because you want a better future. The eagle gets it. It understands that its greatest assets, the very beak and feathers that made it powerful, have now become its biggest liabilities. And to get a new life, it has to be willing to let them go.
So what's the takeaway for us? Well, that beak and those feathers, that's a perfect metaphor for our ego. The identity, the title, the reputation, all the things we built. Those are the things that are now weighing us down. If you want to fly high in your second innings, that next amazing chapter of your life, you've got to be willing to shed that old ego, no matter how much it hurts.
Now, I know that sounds pretty intense, right? This painful process of shedding everything, but the transformation doesn't have to be all about pain. If the eagle teaches us why renewal is so necessary, our next metaphor teaches us about the natural grace of letting go.
Let's talk about this idea of the ripe fruit. It's such a beautiful shift in perspective. See, this isn't about being forced off the branch. It's about reaching a point of such fullness, such wisdom and maturity that the most natural thing in the world to do is to just release, to give, to share everything you've cultivated.
This illustrates it perfectly. A raw fruit, an unripe one, it clings to that branch for dear life. It has to. It's still taking, still growing. But a ripe fruit, its journey of taking is complete. Its purpose totally shifts. Now, its new job is to give. It lets go, not to die, but to share its sweetness and plant new seeds.
So this is an invitation, really. An invitation to see yourself not as someone who's losing their position, but as someone who has reached this incredible state of ripeness. Your purpose has evolved. To keep clinging to the branch now? Well, that would be going against your very nature. Okay, so we've got these two really powerful images, right? The eagle's painful choice and the ripe fruit's graceful letting go. But how do we turn all this wisdom into actual action? What do you do on Monday morning? Well, that brings us to a concrete, practical path forward.
So the path forward starts to look pretty clear. Step 1, you have to acknowledge the crisis. Admit that maybe the chair owns you. Step 2, you learn from the eagle and you make a conscious choice to shed that old ego. Step 3, you embody the fruit. You realize it's your time to let go and to give. And that entire journey leads to the final crucial step, a practical realignment of your life.
So what does this realignment actually look like in real life? Look, it's not about just stopping everything cold turkey. It's about rebalancing. They call it the 6-4 model. The idea is you dedicate about 60% of your energy, maybe 6 hours a day, to the business. That keeps you sharp, you keep control.
But the other 40%, the other 4 hours, is for service, for mentoring, for community, for sharing your wisdom. This is where you stop trading success for significance, and you find a totally new kind of peace.
And of course, if you're living this new way, you need a new name for it, right? A new identity, because the word retired just doesn't cut it anymore. It feels so passive.
This new identity is the EEC. It stands for an experienced, energetic citizen. Let's break that down. Experienced, that honors your entire past. Energetic, that defines your capacity to contribute right now in the present. And citizen, that points to your future, your purpose in the world. See, it's not a label of retirement. It's a declaration of continued value.
So in the end, it all comes back to a choice. Your second innings isn't some destination that you just arrive at. It's a design. It's something you have to craft. You can let the weight of your past keep you grounded, or you can make that brave choice, shed what's holding you back, find a new balance, and discover a whole new way to fly. The only question left is, how will you choose to fly?